that dude puts his body through it. You know what I mean?
Just the differences between like season 7 where Mac is fat, like to now, it's like the things that he's gone through, and it's like it's really funny listening to like why they did the whole fat season. And he goes, "I just told him I wanted to be fat," and they were like, "Okay."
Yeah, because he said like sitcoms always everything gets better for these characters. Like the longer it's on, somehow, like it's not real life where life falls apart and you look like shit.
Yeah.
But now he looks like a Greek Adonis. So really, did he prove a point?
I don't know.
I thought it was pretty impressive how he could do that though, to go to that level of fat and then come back to just like ripped mode. Like why couldn't NFL players do that?
I'm sure they could if they chose to.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the Mike Tyson training videos?
Yeah.
He looks legit like he did when he was in his early 20s.
He's 52. I'd run away. Like I would just hope he couldn't catch me.
I'd play possum.
He didn't lose no speed. It was pretty impressive. I mean, just against the mitts, but still, like it was pretty impressive to see. And he's saying he wants a legit competitor. He doesn't want some easy fight or some nobody.
So would you straight up today and think of the real life ramifications of this, like brain damage?
I don't want to get hit by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I was gonna say a million.
No,
because you will have brain damage.
Yeah, like what's the point of the money if I don't know even what it is anymore?
I mean, what it would make sense. Like, say you were dying, right? And you wanted to, and you actually cared about your wife or whatever, and you wanted to leave her money or your children.
There you go.
You'd be like, all right, Mike, just go to town, buddy, because then I won't even know about these last 4 years where I'm pooping myself anyway.
I was going to say, if I'm a cancer patient, I'm already just living a shitty life anyways.
But if you're literally going to get CTE in one hit.
Yeah. No. You'll probably go out and immediately murder people afterwards, based on Aaron Rodgers' studies. I think that's what happens. Yeah, you get the CTE immediately, and then you just go on a murder spree.
CTE or Jordan Love?
Jordan
That's making him do that.
Jordan Love.
He's treating him just like his own family. So,
I mean, isn't his brother? Isn't Aaron Rodgers' brother? His name's Jordan, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, I see it. I see the depth of this. Wow,
that was a real dig from the upper management right there.
Yeah, that's Aaron Hernandez though. He's the murderer. Aaron Rodgers, to my knowledge, has not murdered anyone. I'm not saying he has or he hasn't. It's never been proven that he hasn't murdered someone, if you think about it.
Yep. So, back to the philosophies of Shane is the worst.
Yeah. I didn't want to offend Aaron Rodgers in any way if he's listening. No, it's Aaron Hernandez, obviously, who was the mass murderer. I apologize. And to all the New England fans, I don't want to take that away from them. They have the most prolific serial killer of any franchise that's ever existed. That's pretty awesome. Like,
now that we're talking about murderers, though, how many people do you have to kill to be called a mass murderer?
Okay, so it depends, right? So say I go shoot up a bank right now. Mm-hmm. Just say I do that. Just not that it will or have. That's a spree killing. So you're not considered. It kind of depends. You could consider it a mass murderer.
Is it like, not talking about? Does it come down to the amount of times it's happened or the amount of people that you've killed?
It's that, the length, and then kind of like the way you go about it. Like if I just go shoot up a mall, like for no reason other than, I think this will be fun, I'm a spree killer. But if say I strangle 37 escorts,
but is that's more of like a serial killing? Yeah.
Not saying that I would. So if there's any escorts watching or listening, please don't my calls.
Clearly, Shane is fine. He is recovered from the Eagles drafting Jalen Hurts. Everything is back to normal. He's good.
Yep. Sorry about that. We're live on the open bar. Shane is the worst is here, and Jalen Hurts is still on the Eagles. So whether those two things have a correlation, don't know. Man, wow, what an intro. Everyone in this so-called chat is J Mike's telling me about it, via text and email and things that, what's going on with this opening? What is this? The open bar? Yeah, you gosh darn right it is. Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern, man. We did it. We did it again. It is not April. It's May 12th.
Doesn't matter.
May 12th. It doesn't. No, it literally doesn't. I can say whatever month I want.
They all blend together nowadays.
Yeah, it is a day. And we're going to have a grand old time tonight. We've got some people on. I know them, most of them. I know them all. Shoot, I know them all. J. Mike, you know these people? How you doing, man?
Just a hoot and a holler. That's all that this is this evening. And I wouldn't be so scared if Shane didn't use such a specific number like 37 and have it recall so fast.
Yeah.
That's the one aspect in the entire thing in terms of choking up escorts that really had me nervous, because it kind of felt like a crazy episode of like Criminal Minds or something. And then he said 37. It's just really.
Well, the reason for that, though, is because, look, and I don't know how you guys feel about, murdering and whatnot, but like, and I don't look down on hookers or escorts or whatever, or strippers, none of that. Like, I'm proud of all of those ladies for all the things they do and everything they do for men. Thank you. Much respect. Happy Mother's Day. But when you watch, shows on serial killers and whatnot, they always talk about hookers like they're not real humans. Like, it's like it takes 4 hookers to a real human. So that's why it's got to be like that 37, because then it's like, oh, okay, he really killed a lot of people. Not me, though. I'm just saying I respect them, and I wouldn't look at it that way. Like, just one person is a tragedy.
But Shane would never stop at a prime number.
Well, here's the thing. Serial killers, so don't listen to television. Television tells you that they're geniuses and all this whatnot. It's not the truth. Statistically, they've studied them, and their IQ is actually lower than the general public's. And they're not master criminals like you see on Criminal Minds and shit like that, or Jigsaw and all that nonsense.
That's the ones they're catching.
Yeah, that shit doesn't happen.
I like how this ticker says Happy Mother's Day from the open bra. That makes me really happy.
Yep. Exactly. If your podcast could be a strip club, what would you call it?
My podcast.
There's our draft for the night. Go.
Oh, God.
J. Mike and I are the 101. And we're live on the open bra.
And I'm out. Good talk, guys. Thanks.
Kane, what would you call yours? Because yours is Debbie, so yours would be all college girls. So good for you.
Oh, my God.
What?
No.
All right. What did we do? Murderers. What did we do? All right. Shoot. Where do we go from here?
Ears like a bat.
We can bring it back. So we did discuss tight end during the discussion of murderers, Aaron Hernandez. So what are we thinking about Devin Asiati and Dalton Keene?
Oh, yeah. The return of the double tight ends. Do you think the Patriots are trying to do what the Ravens did?
Nope.
No.
Mark Andrews and Hayden Hurst. Those two guys are clones.
No.
The Hayden Hurst and Asiasi and Edwards and Keene, clones, right?
Nope.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Zach, let me ask you this. As a New England fan, how did you win so many Super Bowls when Bill is this bad at drafting? Like, it's just, is it real? So
also, Zach, you are being introduced to the show at this point, so feel free to Shane just introduced you, so get into that as well, as well as the whole Patriots thing.
I think the Patriots, the Belichick mythology, it reminds me a lot of the guy in your fantasy league who is really good at picking apart the other teams and trading away his draft picks or not necessarily paying attention to the rookie draft so much. But when you dropped Travis Kelce because he tore his knee his rookie year, Belichick was the guy who picked him up off the waiver wire. And that's all there is to that. I mean, it's just the other people's trash is another man's treasure.
Or he's just really good at coaching, and the teams around him have actually been trash.
I mean, they've had some pretty good players that they scooped up.
Not through the draft that I mean.
No, not, and again, not
except for The tight ends, they did really well with those two tight ends they hit on in Tom Brady, that's if you're going to hit on some shit, that's some shit to hit on.
But not even necessarily through the draft. I mean, you look at what they did with Welker was in Miami, and to throw that back to when they first started like really rocking and rolling. Welker was in Miami and he had it was like a 700-yard season for Miami. I mean, it was fine.
Really good punt returner.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they grabbed him. You look at Moss is the easy one to cherry pick, but Moss was kind of left for dead in Oakland, and they brought him in, and all of a sudden
I think that whole team was left for dead in Oakland.
Yeah, well, rightly so. I can say that. Sal's not listening. We're good.
How do we know? How do we know Sal's not listening?
I'm 100% sure Sal is not listening.
Well, and also they picked up Corey Dillon when he was 106.
Yeah.
Benjamin Green, Jarvis Ellis.
Yeah. That's the name.
They picked up a few running backs like that ended up being really helpful.
Even Blunt.
Yeah, LeGarrette. Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing is I think that the Patriots are really good at both self-scouting and scouting the league, and also end up doing this thing where they're looking for specific traits. And if the guy has traits, then you play him. I mean, that's just they don't like. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. I was trying to time the ending of your sentence and I missed it. Carry on, my friend.
No, that's all right. I pace sometimes, but that's just kind of how that team operates, where you have a player that can do some specific thing well, and they say, okay, do that, instead of trying to make players do everything. And I think that's been part of the success. Plus, you had lucked into Tom Brady in the 6th round. I mean, that also helps.
That does help. That's good when you can do that. Yeah.
Can we have a Patriots running back draft or something like that? Who is the best Patriots running back of all time, and why is it Jonas Gray?
For a few games.
That was a good game, yeah.
Dude, Corey Dillon was a beast when he was there. I loved Corey Dillon there.
I still want Woodhead.
We need a draft order here. We need a draft order. We're going to descend into chaos here.
Oh no, we're doing it.
No.
Do we defer the 101 to the Pats fan? That's the real question.
Yes.
That's fair. That's a lot of pressure. No, we should give him the 106 because then he has to. Because we're gonna not know. We might not know 5 running backs for the Patriots.
Perfect. So. Kane's the 101, and we'll work our way clockwise.
Yep.
Yes.
So are we just
make Zach work?
Do we want the best ones?
Yeah, that's kind of the point of a draft. You want to draft the best players first? No,
I'll take Curtis Martin.
Foreign contact to you. Well, but Curtis Martin was, from what I remember, I could be wrong, but wasn't he pretty washed when he was with New England at that point?
Or he still did fine.
I don't think that's correct.
He still did fine.
He did fine.
I'm pretty sure that's wrong, but
he did fine.
No, he was pretty good.
He did fine.
Who did he finish his career with? The Jets?
Yeah.
Then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we had 3 seasons with New England, 1,400 yards, 1,200 yards, 1,100 yards.
I mean, that's okay.
14 touchdowns in each of the first 2 seasons.
He had 32 touchdowns in 3 years with New England. Golly.
Yeah. Give me that 101.
Yeah.
That's pretty good one.
And not a bad running back in general. You know, he's decent. So
I'm just going for votes.
All right, Shane, 102. Don't
right,
mess up.
So
Patriot
I guess not,
running backs.
Not Curtis Martin. But yeah, man, he really did have a really good career. 1,697 yards the year before he retired.
That ain't right.
He was really good.
Yeah, and then he had 735 the next year. Why the fuck did he retire? He was only 32. I would have kept on playing. That's just me. I would have gotten them paychecks. Doing a lot of stalling here. Don't want Danny Woodhead. I'm going to go with a better version of Danny Woodhead and James White.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, as a pass catcher, you can't kill that guy. He's going to get 70 to 80 receptions a year. Really interested to see what happens now that Brady's not there anymore, and they might have a guy that can throw beyond 5 yards, but really like James White. Or Corey Dillon, but I'll leave him out there for whoever.
That's probably who I was going to take, and it pains me as a Cougars fan to pick Corey Dillon, but it's funny looking at this list how I'm looking at a list of just all of them, and Dion Lewis and Sony Michel are in the top 7.
Why?
It's your guess is as good as mine.
By accident, I'm assuming.
Draft capital.
I don't know. I don't know.
Sonny
Lewis
Michel
had some
is
good
trash.
Above Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Shane Vereen. And then the idea of Rex Burkhead. That's probably a good pick.
The idea of Rex Burkhead.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Rex Burkhead versus the idea of Rex Burkhead. Who's better?
So Sam Bam Cunningham was a New England Patriot, and if I remember correctly, that was Randall's brother or cousin, I believe. I could be wrong.
We are a pro Randall Cunningham podcast here.
Indeed.
Kinfolk.
All right. So David, you're going. What did you officially go with? Corey Dillon. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Clockwise. So I'm up next. J Mike.
Yep.
Well, I feel bad for leaving Woodhead in the dust, but I want to go with. I'll just go from when I probably started entering the fantasy world with Shane Vereen.
Oh gosh,
the spin cycle.
Yeah, I love Shane Vereen, and I mean, you could just rinse and repeat with all these pass catching backs that the Patriots use. I mean, it's just one after the other. But yeah, Shane Vereen, he was a baller. I'll take it.
What do you have? 2 good years?
Sure.
No, not being a dick. I'm just asking. Like I literally don't remember. Like
You
I
just
remember.
gotta own it. Yep.
Yeah, his
What do you have?
his upside or his like it was more like the thought of what he could be was always better than what he actually was.
No, that's Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, well, him too,
We
yeah.
established that.
I'm going to go ahead and change my pick though. So going back to the 102, I'm going to go ahead and take Sam Cunningham, who is the career rushing leader of the Patriots, and
I think that says everything right there.
And he is the second leading touchdown rushes. And he's the brother of Randall Cunningham. And apparently he integrated some team in 1970. It might have been Bama. Was still racist until the 70s. So good for you, Alabama. Wow.
Yeah. Bill's always playing in a 3-year window too, so nobody ever has the chance to get to those records.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said still racist in the 70s. Still racist
Well, I mean, like, it's not
in the
now,
20s. All right.
He was, I
Just
guess,
keep going.
more blatant.
Right, yeah. More overt, yes.
Being completely overt right now. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't. We're up to 104, and James White is available.
Very good. 105. I'm going with the real steal of this draft. The guy that I said earlier that nobody seemed to hear, which I'm very pleased about. Give me Kevin Falk.
Yeah.
Kevin Falk.
It's the obvious one.
Kevin Falk is, Bill Belichick's whoopee. He spent 15 different years. And by 15, I don't really mean 15, but he was there for like probably 12 seasons, and was just always there for good old Bill. And so he did enough to warrant a roster spot for that long. That's pretty amazing in itself. Career numbers, 3,700 receiving yards. It's pretty impressive as a running back. 16 rushing touchdowns, 15 receiving touchdowns. He's pretty solid. So yeah, give me Kevin Falk here. Case closed. That's the best steal that I can come up with at this point.
Sorry, Zach. I mean that he literally started the kind of the pass catching role for that team. Like,
oh yeah,
they just tried to keep finding a Kevin Falk after that.
I mean, Lawrence Maroney's still here for you.
No, I think I'll slide by
Southern
Maroney.
Canadian.
Although he was one of the posts, the tweets that I had was Maroney was the answer to it. Was the last guy who had a season where he had over, it was like 150 rushes and 30 catches for the Patriots was Maroney back forever ago. But I'm gonna take Woodhead. Growing up, I remember this period of time watching John Stevens, but he in my mind, he just fumbles every time he touches the ball. He's this huge, wearing 44 and running through guys and then fumbling. So it's going to be Woodhead, the 3rd down and 15 specialist where he'll come in. It's 3rd and 15, and they hand the ball to Woodhead on a draw, and he gets 17 yards every time. Like, that's my guy.
No, you can't be mad at Woodhead, man. I mean, that dude for years was just like, all right, I'm going to draft him in the 7th round, and he's going to put up like our
top 5 PPR guy.
Yeah.
It kind of says how rough it is when Damian Harris is already the 28th best running back right above.
Get drafted by the Patriots. And what size jacket do you wear?
I'm really gonna need something from him this season.
I think
J-Mike, he broke you, man.
That was my man.
Yeah, I
gotta be
know.
buying him, right?
Sheesh.
Still
Tom Brady is the 33rd overall rusher for the Patriots. Nice job, Tom.
Christ.
It's pretty good, man.
Did he have 1,000 career yards?
Yeah.
And then lost it, and then got it again, and then
1,037.
He was going back and forth every time he kneeled down for a while.
A 1.7 yards per attempt. So take that, yards per carry stand.
A whole lot of touchdowns, though. High efficiency.
Yeah, that seems high. I don't remember him ever running that far.
He had like 120-yard carry, which skewed everything.
Yeah, I was gonna have one of those like every 4 years. It's like a leap year.
But is this finally the year? Because I really hate to say it, I didn't think Tom Brady would leave, even though Kyle LeBrecq, the other half of the Dynasty Dummies, told me for a year that he probably wasn't coming back. It wasn't going to happen. Didn't believe him, and here we are. I'm still at this point where I don't think that New England's losing the division, even though they probably will. I'm just saying.
Dude, unless Corona takes out Buffalo, like, no, dude, just no way.
Buffalo,
like, just because they are so talent depleted, and it's not just that Brady left. You know what I mean? It's just like, what do they have at wide receiver? They have a 38-year-old Julian Edelman who, he's
the best thrower on the team.
Yeah, he's going to get popped for PEDs and/or get injured at some point during the season, or arrested, because that's his thing. N'Keal Harry, I assume he'll be better in his 2nd year, but I don't think he knows how to separate yet. He still can't separate. But they do have Asiaga.
Yep.
There's that.
This is true.
They might win 8 games. I won't pick. Look, Bill's a genius. They might win 9 games, but Buffalo better win that division. If they don't end that New England streak, then football should just be canceled forever.
Just call it a day.
Just give it.
The bet on the Patriots winning less than 9 games, I think, is at like -135. So not a bad line to bet on.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
no. Oh, let's have some fun with this. Let's have some fun with this.
I'm going to bet the money line.
The Patriots 2020 season. Patriots 2020 season win-loss here. Dolphins. They opened essentially with the Dolphins at home. Win or loss?
Win.
At home, that should be a win.
Yep. Next week they travel to Seattle.
That's a loss.
They're gonna get destroyed. Like, they might not come back from that trip. They're not even gonna make that trip. Who are we kidding? That game's not happening. You're not gonna be, dude. LA just shut down through fucking LA County shutting down through August. There's about as much chance as me playing Seattle as the Patriots. It's gonna be all like, you're on this coast, you play this coast.
I want to see you cover
means
N'Keal.
the Pac-12 in college football is basically done for football for this season.
Yeah, N'Keal will separate on me. I'll give you that.
Well, Cal's already done. Cal can't play. They were the second best team in that division, so they're probably going to shut down the Pac-12 because that Washington probably shouldn't play.
Yeah. And I don't even know where what encompasses LA County. The first thing I thought of was, the Rams and that other garbage team, the Chargers. Like,
cover your ears, Jesse, wherever you are.
Sorry, love you, Jesse. Love your beard. Represent. Okay, so let's just pretend the season's happening. So yes, Seattle beats them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Keeping it going here. Week number 3, they're hosting the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, you think they're losing to the Raiders?
Yeah, they're going to eat an L, baby.
What?
I'm not a Carr fan.
They got the Raiders. They got the Raiders.
I'm going Patriots. Nah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. Patriots for sure.
So we've got them at 2-1,
Miami
traveling to Kansas City. That's a loss. I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay,
That's
got
gonna be
the
beautiful. Like that's going to be the game or the moment that like America recovers from the coronavirus because we're all going to come together to root against New England and then get to see them get thoroughly destroyed. Like the joy that that's going to bring 98.7% of the American population is going to be worth it. Like I know like Zach will be upset that week, but even he, like back of his head, he'll be like, America needed this. Like you know how like
Didn't we do that
everyone
last year in the AFC Championship? Wasn't that America needed this?
No, this is different though. America, this is like after 9/11 when the Yankees made it to the World Series. Like you had everyone rooting for the Yankees, and everyone hates the Yankees objectively. No one likes them, but you were still pulling for them. You were like, for America, baby. Yeah, fuck you, terrorists. The Yankees are going to win the World Series.
Forget that there was another team also from America playing, but.
Well, yeah, maybe. But yeah, no. That's going to be the moment America recovers. So we got the Pats, what, 2-2?
2-2. They host the Broncos the next week.
That's a win.
Broncos. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Broncos.
I got Broncos.
I'm giving
Zach, you're the tiebreaker, Zach.
Yeah, I think it's a loss. I'm hoping it's like, yeah.
Is it at Denver?
No, host Patriots host.
That's tougher for me, but I would still maybe take Denver.
It's still good.
They're not as
Got
good
some
as
trust
they
in
were.
No.
Wow. Okay, we got them at 2-3. 49ers coming to town the week after. That's a loss.
Yeah.
2-4. Wow. Patriots at Bills. That's when it gets fun. The beginning of November.
That's an L.
Patriots at Bills?
Yeah.
That's probably
Patriots
a loss.
at Bills.
At Buffalo is probably a loss.
That's their first. That's their first matchup, right?
That's their first division matchup. Yep.
I completely forgot the first two games already. So, yeah, I think it's a loss. I think the Bills take a stand.
So going into their game against the Jets, second week of November, we've got them at 2-5.
Yeah.
So and then they go to New York to play the Jets.
Yeah, Adam Gase is there. That's a win.
Yeah. I got them at 4-4 at that point, by the way.
J. Mike is super thinking about this.
Dude, you can't ever pick an Adam Gase coach team. I don't care if they're playing no one. You still got to be like, no one's pretty tough. I don't know.
All right, we'll stall for the time being while J. Mike figures out that issue. I was Kane. You were looking at the over under for Patriots at 9. I was curious about what everyone else was because I also have seen the Patriots at 9, and I'm like, wow, that is so generous. Like, what is that from?
Yeah,
You know?
so it was split up into 4 different bets. So between 0 to 4 wins was about plus 300 or 400, which is a much better bet. From 5 to 9 wins was minus 135. At least when I saw it a couple days ago, and anything above 9 wins was plus a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that then because
10 to 14 is plus 140 on the money. So
I don't know what that means, but that sounds like I should bet on that.
it's like 3 to 2.
So if I bet $3, I get $6 back. Is that
5?
I don't like those odds. Never mind. I need that extra $1.
But at plus 200 is double your money.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, if the fucking Patriots somehow make it to the playoffs, I'm going to be completely disheartened and just give up on life.
Well, that's the thing. If they make it to the playoffs, that means that all of a sudden the bet on Stidham has paid off. So that's the thing with being a Patriots fan this season is as long as they're not in the middle, as long as they're not 8-8, it's a win. Because if they make the playoffs, that means Stidham is something. If they are terrible, if they nosedive, if they end up with the 4 wins or whatever, then you have either a high draft pick or more likely you don't have to wait as long until they trade back. So you just kind of start that rebuild process, and you know that you don't have the next quarterback in Stidham. So it's kind of an interesting year. because there aren't necessarily expectations. So whatever happens ends up being good unless they end up 8-8.
I'll call it for you now. I think they're going to draft Trey Lance.
You do?
Wow. I have no idea who that is. That's a running back?
That's a quarterback. He's the number 3 quarterback in the 2021 draft.
Based on your rankings?
Based on just about everyone's rankings.
Who's everyone? I'm just saying.
Mel Kiper, Todd McShay.
Are these the same people that put out Plandemic? I mean, I need to check this scientifically.
No, because they're still credible. The people that put out Plandemic are not credible.
Okay. All right. So then Trey Lance, number 3. All right. So it's Trevor Lawrence,
Justin Fields,
and then Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And then Sam Brockenworth. What's his name?
Depends who you're looking at. For the 2021 class, Sam Howell's not in the draft.
Okay, so then not him. Is there a Brockington,
Aaron Brockovich.
Brock Purdy.
Good.
Aaron Brockovich. Brock Purdy. That's
Brock
it.
Purdy.
Brock
Yeah,
Purdy.
he's
Purdue?
my number 4 guy. What's that?
Is he from Purdue?
No, he's from Iowa State.
Okay, so not even close. But his name, he sounds like he should be a Purdue player, right? Because his name's like Brock Purdy.
And his brother's name is Chuba, and he's at Florida State.
His brother's name is Chuba Hubbard?
Chuba Purdy.
Chuba and Brock.
Wow. Chuba.
So his
Purdy.
dad's just a bro, right?
Yes.
He's like doing keg stands as we fucking speak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
No one even needs to hold him up.
Yeah,
Like,
he's got another baby
this.
coming out. And he's like, I don't know. Name it Felix. Yeah, that sounds
Felix?
pretty bro.
See, I was gonna see like helmet, like
helmet.
Just name him Truck.
So real quick, J Mike isn't here, so I want to step in for a minute. Pops wants to let us know that this is boring without J Mike. So I'm gonna step in, and right now we had stepped up to what we were like. We gave up on the draft over at 105. Danny Woodhead.
What?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going.
Zach hit it, man. He
ended
had
the
Danny
draft.
Woodhead at 106. I mean, we can go back to 102 again if you want.
No,
It seems like you've changed that a few times now.
So he eviscerated this. He eviscerated the entire draft. So I'm gonna just talk about some shit I want to talk about. So why are so many stupid people on Twitter, and on podcasts? Do they like to talk badly about Carson Wentz? But that's another thing, I guess, really. But why does everyone want to hate on Miles Sanders? And why don't they know that he's basically Alvin Kamara, except a better pass catcher? I don't understand.
It's all about the
Seems like they all
RBC,
talk
bro.
bad about badly about the Eagles. The Rager hate from
The Rager hate's justified.
No, it's not. You're an idiot.
Okay.
Look, I come with profound arguments, so you can't
clearly
top that. Right.
Talk about it. What is it? What makes Rager not good then?
Well, so I don't think if you're trying to have him as a true wide receiver 1 on a team, I think that's where you're going to fail. He's not a guy that's physical at the line of scrimmage. He's never going to be able to beat press. He had a limited route tree in college. All of that's going to hurt him as a true wide receiver. As a true wide receiver 1. If you were having him as a wide receiver 2 on a team, I think he has immediate fantasy production. But as a wide receiver 1 on a team, I don't think that's going to happen.
So I feel like, and this isn't against you, King, because this is just one of those arguments that it's one of those things like I hear in fantasy all the time, and it just annoys me, like bloodlines. When somebody's like, "Oh, his dad was in the NFL, so he's got bloodlines." I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?" Like, my dad was an accountant and snorted coke. I don't do either. Well, I'm not an accountant, so that doesn't really mean anything. But no, like like wide receivers are always like, "Oh, he can't beat press coverage. He can't beat press coverage," and then they get into the league, and I never hear about it again, like ever, not once. Like that was the book on Calvin Ridley when he was coming out. People kept telling me, well, he might be a really good route runner or whatever, but he can't, run routes from his back. And I'm like, dude, do you watch the NFL? It's not like they're going to let you completely jam a receiver off the line on the line. Like it's not 1984.
Well, but a lot of that too is the new NFL, and I talked to Peter Howard quite a bit about this. The new NFL and the shift is you're putting more receivers into the slot more often, and even the quote unquote the stud receivers, the guys that you think of as being the outside, they're sliding into the slot, 10, 15, 20% of the time. And that all of a sudden mitigates that, that check, that bump at the line, that the press coverage. The other part is press coverage. You don't see much press coverage in college. Like, I'm watching film, and if you get a guy who sees press coverage in 3 games, that's a pretty big sample size of press coverage for a lot of these guys.
What I'm saying is, when you see him against press coverage and he doesn't do well, you can't just ignore that.
No, and I'm with you on that. And I think, to me, Rager is a guy who, at least my estimation of him, is a guy who needs to be schemed for. He's really good. If you can get him the ball in space, he tries to beat guys deep way too often, to me. Like, he tries to use his straight line speed more than he should, especially when he's given a cushion where you could just kind of stop, make a play, and use his speed with the ball. But I agree with you, Kane, that he doesn't project as a 1, whatever that means. But I think that he's deadly. You can use him in the slot. You can split him out wide and use his speed, and that's not a bad thing to have on a team. I'd rather have Justin Jefferson, but
no, you're still wrong about that.
Listen, we'll fight till the end of time over that one, which is okay. But let me ask this, because when we look at one of the things I find Philadelphia, and Shane, I'm not saying this just because you're here. You know that I love you. I find Philadelphia to be one of the most intriguing places in fantasy for basically this year and even moving forward, between what's kind of what we track with Miles Sanders and how they didn't quite give him a very much work up front. Then they kind of gave him more work toward the end when everybody was hurt, between what's going to happen at wide receiver, between when Zach Ertz either passes the baton to Goddard or when Goddard takes it. I think Philadelphia is going to be one of the more fun places to track in fantasy in 2020. Last season, do you all know behind Zach Ertz who had the second most targets in Philadelphia?
Nelson Aguilar.
No,
it's either Goddard or Sanders.
Yeah,
Dallas Goddard.
Yeah.
So Ertz had 135 targets. Goddard had 87. The next closest was Alshon, who only played in 10 games. So I'm just curious. Obviously, we've got Alshon coming back. We've got Deshaun coming back. We've got a Rager there now. We've got the big boss himself, Greg Ward. What? Big trust. No, I'm just kidding. We've got JJ Arcega-Whiteside. There's just so many intriguing pieces in Philadelphia. And if Carson Wentz is going to stay healthy like he did last season before Clowney Gronk spiked his head into the ground, if we can get something from him, like, I'm just curious who's going to be the one that rises above the Mendoza line, if you will, just the mediocrity of it all. So Philadelphia is fun. That's a fun team to watch.
I think Carson Wentz, like everything that you pointed out with everyone coming back, like that's just all pluses for Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Right?
No doubt.
You said, like, even Goddard getting that many targets and he still did well, even though people could scheme for him more. Like, that's just more pluses for Wentz. And I think that's why, he needs to be at least respected a little more than he is.
Yeah, put some respect on his name. You know who you are out there talking all that horse shit. I ain't gonna put people on blast, but whatever.
But you want to.
The one thing though, Alshon, that dude probably isn't gonna be ready till October, November, because he injured his Liz Frank. And frankly, I don't even know when if he'll ever be able to be, the type of receiver he was before. Greg Ward is, look, I loved Greg Ward at the end of last year, but that dude should not be even if the Eagles are in the spot again where you're talking about Greg Ward getting points for him, shit went deeply bad again.
Like their draft picks.
Well,
they drafted how many receivers?
They drafted
4?
So they drafted the number 1 receiver in the draft and Jalen Reagor.
That's not true.
They drafted a bunch of.
I didn't laugh.
I will say I was annoyed that they drafted like 5th and 6th round guys. Like,
but the problem though is they drafted a bunch of guys with a similar skill set.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were just like, and if you're going to do that, fine, then put the draft capital in the.
But I think the one person like whether you like him or not, like JJ Arcega-Whiteside, like he's the only guy that doesn't have the same skill set as everyone that they just drafted.
Yeah.
When it comes to the younger guys. So I don't know if that's going to make him actually stand out, or if, you know, the Eagles are just going to change to this entirely new speed game.
I think the speed is more. It's more to open up the rest of the offense. Yes, obviously they want to be able to throw deep once in a while, because they were. I don't think they had a 40-yard completion after like week 1 last year,
which was the first play of the game.
Yeah, so Deshaun had 2 50-yard touchdowns to start the year, and as an Eagle fan, like you just all over yourself. You were just like, oh, and took a nap. And then after that, like, you know, he got injured and they had no one. So I think it's more of the reason that they did get those redundant assets. They're like, look, I don't care if one of our fast guys goes down. These other 7 guys might not be as good, but they're fast. So they're still going to open up the intermediate routes for the guys underneath. So that way, when Dallas Goedert does take a 10-yard pass, that he has some room to run. I would expect that Dallas Goedert would take a step back, though, if everything goes the way the Eagles want it to, because I don't think they want to be running, 12 out there, the most in the league.
So I don't know. Like, I see so many parallels between this Eagles team and the Patriots teams, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but of 10 years ago, where you had the 2 tight ends, you had all of this nebulousness with the backfield. You never quite got what you were hoping for with any of the running backs. And yeah, I like that. I like the Dynasty Vipers. The Arcega-Whiteside is very different. He has no skill set. I like that. I was going to ask if they were going to run two tight ends and a power forward out there, because that's what Arcega-Whiteside is. But yeah, like,
the difference though is Gronk obviously and is an all-world different type of beast, but Gronk and Aaron Hernandez collectively and probably individually were more explosive and better deep threats than Goddard or Ertz could ever be. And I love Goddard and Ertz, but it's not. And people, they'll try to say that Wentz had those two, so stop complaining about his wide receivers. No offense has ever been successful in the NFL except that specific New England offense running through 2 tight ends. And it's because their skill set was so different. And like you've said before, Aaron Hernandez was, basically like a wide receiver.
Right. And I'm not
Goddard and Ertz.
I'm not saying like a 1-for-1 comp, but like there are so many similarities to what, and even the fact that Peterson and that that front office is analytically driven, and the Patriots are one of the teams that have been on the vanguard of the analytics movement. Like it really reminds me, and this was the argument that I had with you last year and a bunch of other people when Sanders came in. I said, look, I love Sanders, but it's really hard for me to see him not being in a committee. And if I had not had blinders on, it would have been the same thing looking at Sony Michel 2 years ago, where Michelle came into the Patriots, and I'm sitting there going, this is perfect. This is a guy who caught the ball in college. He's coming into this beautiful situation, but it really wasn't. It was another running back by committee. And I would take Sanders because he's the pass catcher over Michelle at this, because I think that he's got the better role. But I really struggle to see all of your fantasy, hopes and dreams coming true in Philadelphia. They'll be fantastic. They'll be a great team, but fantasy wise, it looks like it's going to be a lot harder to figure out than we think.
I think there's 3 known assets on that roster. It's Wentz, it's Ertz, and I'll still take Sanders because he was a high-end running back 2 last year. I see no reason that he can't be a running back 1, and that's even with agreeing that he's not going to run the ball. He's not going to get 25 touches a game. It's just not going to happen. But
yeah, because they're going to get Carlos Hyde, baby.
That's fine. But I can see him getting 20 touches. I got to be honest with you. I'd rather he get 10 fucking targets a game than 10 rushing attempts, because that dude is an insane pass catcher.
Well, that's just using his skill set correctly.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, what they should do is they should look at the Sean Payton offense and go, okay, what do you guys do with Alvin Kamara? Because we have him, except a faster, more agile version of him.
Except not as good of a route runner. Except not as good of a route runner out of the backfield.
I thought you watched tape.
I do. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Kamara's a much
Hey,
better route runner coming out of the backfield.
Yeah.
David,
a reason why they
what
split
do
him
you
up
what do you
west.
think about Miles Sanders? I know you've got kind of heavy into the RB analytics. Do you have an opinion on Miles Sanders?
For real.
Yeah, well, I mean, just as far as the analytics, it's not as impressive as I would have hoped when he came out. But that's more so because just the lack of protection because he sat behind Saquon Barkley. So, but as a player, I love Miles Sanders. I had him number one last year after the draft, and I mean, it took a few weeks. Jordan Howard probably would have held on to, had he stayed healthy, it wouldn't have been as much of a role for Sanders likely through the end of the season. It probably would have been something similar, but he got a chance after the injury and ran with it. And like you said, he's an amazing pass catcher, just explosive when he comes out of the backfield and catches one. He can take it the distance from pretty much anywhere. So I'm not really worried about them, if they add Hyde or something like that. I think that would just be more, he might not get goal line touches. But I mean, that was kind of a thing last year as well. And he still was highly effective. They still had times where they went away from him, down near the end zone, even post Howard's injury. So it's he might not have the upside of some other guys or that we would hope, but I think overall he's got a solid high end RB2 kind of floor, maybe,
Yeah. And probably a higher floor than a lot of other running backs, honestly. I mean, yeah, sure, the Hyde thing, whatever, but that's probably just smart as like an organization because, I mean, behind Miles Sanders, it's like Boston Scott, Corey Clement, like there's that Warren. Yeah. Everyone I've seen in my rookie drafts, like everyone is nutso over him and, sure, whatever. But like they lack a little bit of depth. And what you want in a running back is, obviously volume. Or just any player, period, for them to score fantasy points. They're probably going to need some volume. Maybe be good. That's sometimes a good thing. But Miles Sanders, I don't even know how good he has to be. He's just going to get the volume. So really, I mean, he should have a decent season no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he gets anywhere from 250 to 270 touches, I think he's a top 12 back. I mean, it's kind of sad that you got like a guy like David Montgomery that's not nearly as talented out there, and he's probably going to end up with like 300 touches, and averaging 3.5 yards a carry and falling down as soon as he catches a pass. But yeah, just because we were talking about the running backs from last year's class, like Sanders, dude, what is wrong with the fucking Raiders? Why do they hate Josh Jacobs? Like, what the fuck? So you draft Lynn Bowden Jr. to be a weapon out of the backfield. You signed Devontae goddamn Booker, who will never go away. And Jalen Richard, they re-signed. Who else did they just sign?
They got one more that I can't think of either. But I'm tracking with you. Yeah, I can't. I'm gonna try to find it.
Hey,
DeAndre Washington's gone, right? Didn't he sign?
Yeah.
He's from Kansas City.
He's in Kansas City. Yeah,
Kansas City. That's right.
There was 3 days of just pure bliss for me because I was like, DeAndre Washington's going to take that job, and I own him all over, and everybody's sleeping on him. And then the draft happened, and I was like, okay.
Everybody's so quick to just toss Damian Williams aside.
Well, because CEH is much, much better.
You struck a nerve with David. Talk about it, David.
I mean, just objectively looking at it, I mean, look, Williams is a nice role player who couldn't beat out Kenyon Drake or Jay Ajayi when they were in Miami.
Hilaire couldn't beat out Nick Brosette last year, 2 years ago.
I don't even know who that is.
That's the point.
I don't even know if that's a real person.
100 yards in college, and I just one great season on the greatest offense maybe that college has ever seen. And I mean, just of course he's going to catch a lot of passes. They threw the crap out of the ball, and just one great season as compared to just 3 straight 2,000-yard seasons, never being questioned as a starter. I can't. 9 spots in draft capital doesn't. I don't care about the first round capital there. I mean, Kansas City, great landing spot, and I think if the roles were switched, a lot of people want to say they thought Edwards-Helaire was better prior, but I think if the roles were switched and Taylor went to KC, there wouldn't even be a question in anybody's mind. There wouldn't be an argument for anybody who was the
I
one.
agree.
So
No, you're definitely right. I mean, anyone that any of those running backs that ended up there was going to be the 101. I wish it was J.K. Dobbins because he's my favorite, but I get what you're saying there. Yeah, I mean, I had CEH as he was my either 4th or 5th running back. It was like him and Akers battling for the bottom of the rankings. And then as soon as he, that night he ended up in Kansas City, it was like, all right, well, guess who's the new 101? But I also think
he'll produce for sure. That's not my argument at all. He'll definitely do some work there. I just think there's a much likelier possibility that in 3 years, and I know everybody says I'm going to sell him before 3 years is up anyways, but you want to try and sell a guy at his peak, or you want to try and sell him on the way down when they just drafted another running back to slot in and share the role.
Yeah, I think the one issue that I have, especially with this running back group as a whole, is as we look, especially in Superflex rookie drafts, I have a hard time putting these running backs above these quarterbacks. I don't know if that's anyone else, but I personally have a hard time doing that in Superflex drafts, just knowing how much weight the quarterback position carries.
But the replacement value, I mean, just it's so much easier to draft a couple quarterbacks later and get equal production, whereas if you take a Mahomes and then you're obviously, unless you're going quarterback, you're obviously going to have a much, a lesser fantasy asset a little bit later at your second quarterback. If you lose Mahomes, the fall from that to what you'll have to replace him with is enormous as compared to, everybody says running backs don't matter. You can get fantasy production from the backup running back in most cases. And that's kind of my thing, is why I won't spend up on QB so much. Just it's tough.
I'm more just talking about just rookie drafts.
Oh yeah.
If we're just talking about a conversation of, is CEH really the 101 in a Superflex draft, or should Burrow be going there? That's kind of the question that I'm having a hard time deciding, because I don't think, losing the value of a quarterback for a running back that might hit, I think is a tough task.
But there's the value of just having a starting quarterback on your team that is going to accumulate points.
Right.
So much investment into a not a 101 pick in fantasy, but a 101 pick in the NFL. That's a huge investment. He's not a starting quarterback for 2 years to 3 years. It's going to be 4 years at least.
5
and
that option.
With the option. So, that's, to me, what more of you're investing in. Sure, he's a great quarterback, great prospect, whatever. Joe Burrow could be whatever. He's the next, what'd they say? Flutie, Tony Romo, Tom Brady hybrid.
They're even saying Slim Andrew Luck.
Yeah, whatever. But he's a starting quarterback for 5 years.
Right.
And that could be longer than a running back.
Right. And that's why I have such trouble with some people saying that it's a clear-cut 101 in Superflex going to the running back. I just don't think that makes a lot of sense to me.
Not for me.
Well, we're on the same page, baby.
Well, and one of the go ahead, David.
I
Sorry.
was going to say, is that clear for you guys every single time, or is situation, if team need is there and you have a running back that's basically being tossed up there with a quarterback, this one for this guy's 101, or vice versa. If you are much more needy at running back, are you going to still take that quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I tell you what, I had a team with Russell Wilson and Cam Newton as my 2 quarterbacks. And obviously I felt good about that 2 years ago, or I don't even know when I start. When did TA7 start? Trade Addicts? I don't know, whatever. But yeah, whatever, Jim. Sorry. No matter what, I imagine if Cam Newton was the quarterback of the Panthers, like I would feel decent at quarterback, going into this season. And I had the 104, so that's kind of the range of like, is it going to be Tua or is it going to be one of those running backs that I get to choose from kind of thing? And Tua was on the board at 104 for me. So I need running back too. Like Devontae Freeman was my starting running back. Phillip Lindsay is my second running back. So I'm completely obliterated there. But I don't know. For me, I feel that there is a longer starter in Tua, even though with the injury, than I would take in a risk at a running back, especially when I can start two that score more points. And maybe it depends on how many running backs you have to start. I think in Trade Addicts, you only have to start one, but maybe two. I don't know. But is it one, J Mike?
Yes, one.
Yeah. So I don't even care about running back in that type of league, like whatever. So in that situation, I'm sure a lot of things are going to depend on it. But for me, still, it would be a quarterback.
No, I was just going to say, I literally did that in Trade Addicts 8. So I had 3 quarterbacks, and still at the 101, I took Joe Burrow.
I find this, it's fascinating to me, the landscape right now in Superflex. I've been in 2 so far rookie drafts. One of them was a Bosch league, so the quarterbacks went bang bang. I mean, that's just how that happens. And then the other one, actually, David had the 3 of the first 4 picks. Running back. I'm on the clock at 6, and I hated to take Tua there, which is a weird thing to say, because there are so many other players that I was kind of anticipating getting. I took Tua, and I'm happy with it. But there's also this piece of me that's like, man, I missed out on CeeDee Lamb, and I missed out on, Akers, and I missed out on all of these guys because I took the value at quarterback.
Yeah, and I think it's really weird. So if you look at the rookie draft app that DLF put together in a super flex league at the 106, there should be a 0% chance that Tua is still on the board.
I'm here to tell you, it's not. It's less than 0.
It's definitely less than 0.
and
No,
David,
I'm saying that he doesn't even make it to the
I know.
106. Like it, to me, I think it's crazy to even have a quarterback drafted in the top 5 that is falling that far, especially one that put up such great college production. And if you want to knock him just over injury concern, sure, I guess. But it's only one injury that people are really worried about. They're not worried about his ankles. He had surgery on his ankles just so he could play faster for Alabama.
Right.
Right. That's why he got that tightrope surgery on both of his ankles when he got injured. So I think if you're worried about the hip, okay. I think that's Bo Jackson has taught us that's an important thing to have, 2 working hips. But I think, you're losing so much longevity over a guy that could be the best quarterback in this class, that has all the tangibles to be the best quarterback. And that's bananas to me to have him at the 106.
David, I love your question though, because I think that I don't know if this is kind of where you're leading to, but I'm with you in that I don't know that it's always the case where I'm always taking the quarterback. But I think, and it's been fun to be able to watch, and I'm sure just with you all, as busy as you all are in terms of in the community, you all have been a part of mocks. You've seen mocks online. You've probably had your own drafts, your own auctions, all those things. And what's been fun to try to be able to, and I talked with Zach about this earlier today, just how I went through, and last night I did some reshuffling, re-ranking, if you will, of these drafts, or basically how I'm going to be approaching this next phase of drafts and auctions that I'm in, because of the fact when you do all these mocks, you can do different things and you can have an approach and you can want to like a certain route you go. But the further that you go in your own drafts, when you start making different decisions and different picks, you've got to go back and look at your board and say, you know what? This sounded really good in principle. Like, this sounded awesome. I really wanted to be here. Like, again, talk about CEH stand right here, just because I love this tape. I love his film. And I had the pleasure. I see Berg in the chat. I see you, Berg. Berg and I had the opportunity to be able to do a mock over with the guys over at the Fantasy Authority, and it was just our guys in our Kamikaze League. And they allowed us to be able to post that on their feed. And I actually I can't remember if I took JT or CEH at one. I think it was CEH. But then as I went through that mock and as I've gone through these drafts, I'm like, you know what? There's just no way for me that I'm letting those two quarterbacks by. And a lot of that just hinges on if, let's say that either of those quarterbacks come out this season and they're just not good, or let's just say that they're average. Neither one, I still don't think you're going to be able to lose value in either one below like top 15, period. Like there's still going to be top 15 quarterbacks from a value standpoint alone going into next season, even if they fall on their face in year one from Tua and Burrow. Now, what happens, and Zach and I, Zach was kind enough to join me last week on the Dummy Blitz, where we talked through, okay, what does it look like if these running backs don't quite hit the potential, or what does the situations look like, the scenario look like for these running backs to not get where we hope them to be in year one? And I still feel like it's a good chance that all these guys don't hit like we want them to. And all of a sudden you're in real tenuous situation if you're taking those guys above those quarterbacks, if nothing else, strictly from a value standpoint, where you're going to lose, you could lose value in a major way quickly if any of that fails or falls outside of what you're anticipating, especially when coaches are making comments like, hey, we want Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor to be the 1-1 punch. What is a 1-1? What's a 1-1 punch?
So I'm clearly not an analytics guy. But what is the hit rate just on first round picks in general? Isn't it around 50%?
For rookie picks or NFL draft?
For rookie picks.
Yeah. Rookie picks is around 50%.
Okay.
But
so,
I mean,
but it also kind of depends on what it happens in the real NFL draft.
Right.
Because I mean, this is why I brought this. This is why J Mike brought up this comment from the chat, from the so-called chat.
Chat, no, you can't let that slide. Chat, mark this down. I didn't even. That popped up when I was talking. I'm not talented enough to do both.
You're such a good multitasker, bro.
I'm not talented enough to do both.
Really
good. Brought that up.
Man,
the chat exists.
Great podcaster here, J Mike. Man.
Unbelievable.
Get him on another show. All right.
Y'all see the chat. Somebody screenshot this, please.
None of these rebound RBs.
Capital matters a little bit with these running backs as well. And I mean,
draft capital is always, and
matters for sure.
It's the most important independent variable of any other variable. I mean, it's just that important.
And even more so.
All of these, I mean, okay, Clyde Edwards-Helaire isn't. Whatever. He was the 32nd overall. Like, come on. Yeah, J Mike.
Well, just to that, I mean, it's the reason, I mean, I know all about draft capital. I'll preach it. It's the top 3 rounds, though. I mean, because the second round hits about as much as the third round as far as the real NFL draft. The running backs hit just about the exact same percentage. So it's not always to the same level, obviously, but they're still producing. But just the draft capital can't be the absolute be-all, end-all, because Sony Michel went in the first round. And who's taking Leonard Fournette over Christian McCaffrey? I mean, so it's when it's just a few spots or something like that, or even this year when it's 22 between the 5 of them. At that point, yeah, you have to still take it into a high consideration because they obviously loved Clyde Edwards-Helaire because they chose him with first round capital, but that's their football move. That's not their fantasy move. They're drafting him for real football. We're trying to pick out the best situations and the best guys to give us a chance for, somewhat long-term success. And just when you take the bet on a guy who's 215 to 225 pounds and, has a well above average athleticism.
Well, I'm out.
On a
We don't really want to
Say something about jump cuts, David, before we lose him.
I'm sorry, it was just right there.
Just for, I mean, you can have great lateral agility, but you better be able to make it to the outside with a little bit of speed in the NFL. And when you're comparing it to guys who have home run speed, I mean, you put them in great situations as well. I mean, none of the guys landed in a really bad situation. You can say Swift probably the worst, but he was taken second, and he has probably the least amount of competition, and the most competition is a guy who's so I don't know.
Carry on.
That's what's so fun, David. But what you just said encompasses everything that is awesome about this time of year, because we've got these 5 really awesome running backs, and we have so many different opinions on the level of competition that they're dealing with. We've got so many opinions on how they're going to show up in year one. This is, man, people are going to be right. People are going to be wrong.
We're always
and
right.
the flag planting and standing this season is going to be so fierce.
But PSA, if someone has a different opinion than you, you don't have to be a fucking dick.
Facts
about it.
Talk about
it. Like,
sorry,
you don't have to. Shane.
My bad.
Wow.
Did you just say Mein Kampf?
Subtweeting live on the open bar? Come on.
Jeez.
Came back too soon, Shane. Too soon, Shane.
It's offline, bro. You got my real number and shit. I mean, you just hit me up, be like, "Yo, back the fuck off," and I'll back off.
But I think that's just an important thing too. Like, you're gonna hear 900 million different opinions about fantasy football, but like, don't ever be a dick about it, because it makes no sense. We're just trying to do this for fun.
I gotta be honest, Kane. I don't even give a fuck. I actually like the douchebaggery at this point, except for, like, there's a certain level. Like when you get to the Podfather, where you start attacking people on a personal level, like fuck that shit. But if you call me an idiot because my football, like you think my football take is wrong, fuck it. You know what I mean? That's fine. When you start coming at me on like a personal level,
right? That's more what I'm talking about. Like if you're gonna say like, oh, like start talking about my family, like some people do, I like that's when things are going like a little too far, and you got to know your role.
Yeah. No, like if you.
But I didn't know you had adopted AJ Dillon. That's not my fault.
He's my brother, not my son.
I think is actually a sign of mental illness. Put that number up, Gabe. If you like AJ Dillon, please call 1-800. No.
I can't put that up because I'm on the AJ Dillon train now. I'm with it.
But why?
At his
you
price
can
point,
can get him in the 3rd round. They invested a second round.
Third round's great.
You're not.
Middle second is great.
You're not getting dog. Let me tell you right now. I've been in no less than 20 rookie drafts. That dude is going at the top of the second, maybe 204 in Superflex. Like you're not getting him in.
You can get the wide receiver 1 for the Raiders at the 204.
Exactly. I'll take Ruggs over AJ Dillon.
No, that's the wide receiver 2 for the Raiders.
Brian
yes,
Edwards.
sir, Brian Edwards.
I'm pretty sure I literally took him at 304 in TA7. I don't.
Well, then I don't look. I don't want to impugn the skills.
I don't remember
that draft party. I'm not going to say nothing about that. I'm just going to say roughly in the 20 rookie drafts that I've been in, I've never seen AJ Dillon fall beyond definitely not into the 3rd round. David, do you have some analytical insight onto the 80?
Yeah, 304. 304.
I actually, I like AJ Dillon a decent amount.
Wow, we've got an AJ Dillon room. This is like spotting Bigfoot.
What's wrong with it? I don't know what's wrong with it.
The point
I'm
is
confused by it.
Sorry,
David, carry on.
In the chat, AJ Dillon is TJ Duckett.
I mean, I think that's overrating.
Except good.
No, what is
TJ Duckett was good,
dude. Zach. How does he turn?
You got that's my quote in my write-up. He turns like a bathtub.
Right.
So did DK Metcalf, right?
DK Metcalf looks at AJ Dillon and he goes, "Damn, that dude sucks running the 3-point."
No, they both look like two battleships trying to square up.
But the difference is, dude, AJ Dillon is big.
No. They look like they are pre-World War I, two battleships trying to get after it. Like this is some Pirates of the Caribbean, like trying to line up some cannons type stuff with these two guys.
So they're wooden ships that are very leaky and easy to bring down, is what you're saying. Like they look really strong, but aren't.
They both look pretty well built.
I'm just saying, so they have a lot of water muscle, is what you're saying.
I'm listening to only 4 people on this pod, just not Shane. And the current ADP of AJ Dillon in a Superflex league is at the 208.
Again, I can't look okay, and I don't mean to sound like a douchebag, but I am a douchebag. The leagues I play in are with dudes like I'm going to sound like an asshole anyway, so fuck it. I'll just say it. I'm playing with more sophisticated fucking guys than that, like you guys. You know what I mean? Dudes in the industry. Like he's not fallen that far. Not in any of the drafts that I've been in. Like I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just think that obviously the ADP takes into account every draft, and it's taken into account people that are just like, yeah, AJ Dillon. I heard of him. He was drafted in the second round. I don't know. I don't even know what my point was there, so I'll just back off.
I mean that it's a pretty safe floor to be drafting a rookie. We're drafting rookies. A lot of them are not going to hit here. If it's a late second, if it's a early third, whatever, like that's not a huge investment for just being realistic. Like a running back was drafted at a place that we like running backs.
Okay.
Aaron Jones is out potentially next year. I love Aaron Jones truly, but I just understand the dynamic of the NFL and that they hate running backs just as much as Twitter, and it's like Zeke and Calf are going to get extensions, and if it's not one of those elite running backs, then you're gone.
Yeah, so I have one comment on the comment from Tyler here, and I'll pull it from my favorite movie, which is Draft Day. We have 52 Tarzans. We can use one Jane.
Tarzan, I mean, I'm not going to say that it was culturally insensitive, but
it was culturally insensitive.
How was it a random ass white man? And wasn't that in Africa or some shit?
Tarzan?
Yeah. I've never actually watched it. My parents didn't love me, so I didn't get to see a lot of these movies. So I'm just guessing.
But you're not missing a lot on Tarzan.
No. Look, yeah, at that draft capital, but people need to stop acting like he's going to get that Aaron Jones role. Like,
so I don't think you'll find a bigger AJ Dillon truther than I am. Like, I've been with AJ Dillon in Devy drafts for the past 2 years, like drafting him 2 years ago, and I've been a big fan of his. And I'm not even going to take him at the 201 at the back of the first round in some of these drafts. Like, that's not a smart move.
No.
But if you let him fall to back half of the second round, that's a really good value for a guy that could have the backfield in 2021.
Hey, Kane, let me test Kane's resolve real quick. Let's run through this. Got ADP pulled up, May ADP from the good folks over at Dynasty League Football.
That is our website.
You're on Dynasty League Football?
Yes, we are DLF.
No,
podcast.
we're not on DLF.
You're not part of the family.
We are
DLF.
You are
yes.
DLF.
Yeah.
Just go talk to Matt Price about it. He'll explain everything.
Okay. Exactly.
All right. AJ Dillon or Mark Ingram.
Oh.
And this is just for Kane. This is a Kane centric ADP game right now.
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram. Okay.
You like AJ? I don't get that. See,
hold on.
Because I want to win this year. I don't want to win next year.
These games never
I
work
win
out.
right now.
I know. But I'm always going to play him forever. I just have to. I love it.
Yep.
Dallas Goedert, previously mentioned, or AJ Dillon.
Is their tight end premium?
Let's say it's 1.5.
AJ Dillon.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm not the one wearing an
Dale
Eagles
Goddard
shirt,
straight up.
Shane.
If Dale Goddard got less points, if it was a negative tight end premium where they got 0.75 points and everyone else got 1, I'm taking Dallas Goddard. Get out of it. That is some.
That's bait, Jiff.
That is some uneducated, some hyperbolic. If you put that word together, that's what that was. Hyperbolic.
Yeah,
bullshit
That's a
coming out of your mouth.
polysyllabic word there, hyperbolic.
Did you just call me a Slav? Whoa, hold on.
Hello. Next one,
Shane. I think people are still able to disagree, and I still like AJ Dillon in the long run.
No, you don't want him in a long run.
I actually do, because he actually runs a 4.5 540.
Seriously, you would take him. No bullshit. Not this isn't just to just get my my backup. You would actually take AJ Dillon over Dallas Goddard.
I don't lie, so yes.
Oh man, I
All
gotta get
right,
some
next
AJ
one
Dillon
up.
release.
Preston Williams or AJ Dillon?
Preston Williams.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot. Shane's on. We can't disagree.
Next one. Kerryon Johnson or AJ Dillon?
AJ Dillon.
Okay. Last one.
That one's easier.
Yeah, I think I'm getting into that range. I don't know how you feel about this player, so we'll find out. This will be a heat check. Tyler Higbee or AJ Dillon?
AJ Dillon.
Okay. So essentially, of the people who are currently going ahead of AJ Dillon's going at the 109th overall player in May ADP, which puts him at about he's got an average here, 110.33.
And that's
so that
with
puts
no
him,
tight end premium.
Right.
In that
right.
draft.
Yeah, and I was just throwing them out to you.
No,
just
I'm
as
with you.
Off the cuff. So he's going right behind Carson Wentz and Alex Madison and Preston Williams, and right in front of Kerryon Johnson, Ronald Jones, and Tyler Higbee. So most of those guys are all ahead of him. I was just curious how high up you'd have Dillon. So good stuff.
I'm also a Dillon truther. Like,
right, no doubt.
I get it. Like, you stand by the guys you like. It's more fun playing fantasy football with people you like on your team.
I gotta be honest.
Amen to that.
It's more fun when you get that PayPal or LeagueSafe alert that your money has come through.
Yep, and I'll do that with AJ Dillon on my team.
Let's go.
You won't be the reason if that happens. I'm just saying.
No, Gabe, all I was saying was you don't find many AJ Dillon rooms on the interwebs. So when obviously Kane's here, so we know where Kane stands with it. And then when David's like, well, I kind of actually like him too. And then you're like, well, I kind of do. Like, wait a second. Wait, what's going on here? This is 2020. Things are changing. People love AJ Dillon now. This is great. I just found it interesting. It's fascinating.
I want to, I think we all want to be right on players, certainly in whatever way, shape, or form, through your analytics or your tape or whatever. Yeah, sure. Maybe you don't. But if you don't, then you can go after players like AJ Dillon, because it's a contrarian play at this point, and everyone hates him, and that's okay. And then you can bet on yourself being wrong at a really, really inexpensive price, and I'm okay with that.
Fuck that, Gabe.
I don't necessarily I'm not head over heels for AJ Dillon, like watching the analytics, the tape, whatever. But it just makes sense. I don't understand why not invest in that?
I say you
people take Benjamin over. Benjamin's a 7th round pick.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
But I'm thinking Kane should really plant his fucking flag. And you too, Gabe. You too, David. If you really look, you want to take a stance. Don't give me this AJ Dillon's good and I drafted him at 212, so I'm smart, because you're not.
At 304.
Whatever. Same with Cam Akers. Cam Akers has fallen to the 6th or 5th running back or whatever. So I don't want to hear anybody crowing next year if he hits. Y'all should draft AJ Dillon at 104. And then next year be like, I fucking told you, 104.
So there's a difference between being stupid and not playing the market, and playing the market and still getting the guy you want.
I don't know what this.
So here's okay. I agree with you there. Here's the question: what would you rank in your heart of hearts if ADP is not a factor? So this is how I do my ranks. I rank the players the way I would take them, and then I draft the way ADP says, that I have to take them. So like I have Brian Edwards ranked as my 108. I will never take Brian Edwards at 108 because I don't have to. I can trade back to 203, 204. I got him at 208 the other day. Like I can do that, but I have him ranked at 108. So where would you rank? And that's in one quarterback. But where would you rank AJ Dillon if I were going to hold your feet to the fire and say, give me a rank that's in your heart of hearts? Pay no attention to ADP. What do you have him ranked, Kane?
So he's my running back 6.
Yep.
Give me a hot second. Let me pull up.
Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
no, you're good.
I think that
I have this done. I just didn't.
I'm going to talk and be professional and keep going while you do that.
Nice.
But like I think what you said though is really, really important to talk about, where you talked about the value of it and not having to draft him at the 104 or whatever. But like, I think that's important when people put out rankings, to when you consume rankings, understand how that analyst is ranking, whether they're ranking versus ADP or whether they're ranking like I do. These are my rankings. Now look at ADP, compare them, and see where you can eke out value.
Yeah, so I have him at the 205 in Superflex leagues. So that would be at the 202 in a 1 quarterback league.
So that's actually, and let me say this to you, Kane, you actually have him ranked correctly and where you would draft him. I don't have an issue with.
After all that.
All right. This is the Open Bar. Thank you for joining us this week.
That was quite the turn of events.
No, I'm just saying, like, when
Am
you say
I the greatest orator? Like,
if you would have came up
with AJ Dillon points, and all of a sudden,
if you would have said he was like your RB3, then I would have driven to Wookuth, Minnesota, and nut punched you. But
no, so he was my running back 6 before the draft. He's my running back 6 now.
Oh.
I think draft capital actually just helped that argument of AJ Dillon more than it hurt people that were AJ Dillon truthers. I'm not saying that it's still a very clear tier break, right? The top 5 guys. Well, the top 3 guys for me are in one tier, and then the other 2 are in a tier, and then it's 6 and below after that. But I'm not saying that he should be ranked higher than guys like Akers and Dobbins and things like that, because I'm not a dum-dum. I'm at least a little bit of smart.
I got you.
But so then you got him over guys. So there's a weird, there's a weird wide receiver tier in the middle of that where – for me, Ruggs falls, but not everybody. But so you've got like Ruggs and Higgins and Pittman and Chenault and Mims, and probably Brian Edwards falls in there. There's this weird tier to me that's right at the beginning to the middle of the second round. So you're taking AJ Dillon over some of them.
So I'm taking AJ Dillon over guys like Laviska Shenault, Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, Brandon Ayuk, Van Jefferson. The rest of the running backs.
Okay, I mean we differ a little bit there, but I like your conviction anyway.
And I think the really
I was backhanded. You see that?
Yeah, it was nice. I think the really big question though is AJ Dillon or Keyshawn Vaughn. I think that's more of the question that actually needs to be talked about, because I think those are the 2 guys that kind of have the biggest question marks based off of their draft capital.
And they're like a round and a half difference in fantasy draft.
How Keyshawn Vaughn's going in the first round is bananas.
Well, you know why he's going in the first round. He landed in a spot where he landed with a quarterback that just...
Yeah, the Tom Brady Buccaneers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like James White Tom Brady loves passing to his running backs, and Keyshawn Vaughn's a decent pass catcher. He's good in pass pro. He's adequate as a running back, as an actual rusher. So, I mean, he just needs to be, he's like what David Montgomery aspires to be, I think. And that, I mean, trust me, I get it. Drafting him at 112 feels wrong when I didn't have the guy within the first, round until the back of the second round. But you got to look at where he landed. He's got 2 years probably where he can put up elite production, just tied to that offense.
Right, provided that he's the guy.
I mean, yeah, and look, they hate Ronald Jones though. Bruce Arians is pretty plain and pretty. It's pretty obvious when he dislikes a player. He doesn't hide it very well, and the fact that after press conferences, they ask him about Ronald Jones or a play that he made, and he'll immediately bring up something that he did wrong. They just don't like Ronald Jones. It's not that he didn't draft that running back. He doesn't like him. It doesn't matter that Ronald Jones is infinitely more talented than Keyshawn Vaughn, because I think he is. And I think if given the chance, he would fucking smash that offense. But it doesn't matter what we think.
Yeah, and I think so. I might have just happened to do a write-up on DLF about guys that are going to be overdrafted. And then one quarterback ADP is Keyshawn Vaughn at 11. And I think one thing that a lot of people are actually forgetting if they play in PPR leagues is just Dare Ogunbowale as a whole. He still had 35 catches last year. He had over 40 targets. I think he's going to end up being more of a thorn in the side of both Rojo owners and Keyshawn Vaughn owners, that more people are going to be pissed about Ogunbowale than they are about the running back they don't own between Vaughn and Rojo.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Ogunbowale.
Nailed it.
Perfect.
Can you say Tua's last name for me?
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa. That shit is easy.
No.
Don't test me.
And then first name.
2-0.
Tua Tagovailoa Tonga. Come
Exactly.
on, let's go.
Tal Tagovailoa.
I just love Shane, how committed.
Yeah.
I love how committed you are, Shane, to saying Dare Ogunbowale's name differently every time you say it over the entire last 9 months that he's been in our lives. On your show, every time I listen, you say his name different.
Well, the worst part of that is that I had his fucking name right the first time I ever said it, and I was so proud of myself. So I was like, I'll say this dude's name every fucking time I get on air now. And now it's not even close. It's just like
Shane, I'm definitely going to do a parody of The Lion Sleeps Tonight with a Goombawale just for you. Goombawale. So, yeah.
I also just want
to get real quick, Kane. So they dropped what, 3rd round capital on Vaughn?
Yep.
Yeah, smarter people than me have said that NFL teams tell you what they think based on their draft picks and their free agency signings. If they really thought Dare Ogunbowale was
now you're being disrespectful.
This is so good.
if they really thought that he was an important part of that team, they wouldn't be drafting a 3rd round pick on a running back. It's just
I just want to say, for the people that are huffy puffy about Keyshawn Vaughn's age, then you better be real pissed when what's his name, Najee Harris is in the 2021 draft. Like, if you're going to be pissed about this, Najee Harris is 67 in a retirement home, and he's coming into the 2021 NFL draft.
Well,
so let's not have it two different ways here.
Here's the thing, though. So the COVID is really taking a toll on nursing homes. So he might not even make it to the draft next year.
Yeah, that's actually a very important point.
Yeah, so he might not make it. But yeah, dude,
but he does have the insurance, the draft insurance. So.
Oh, I thought you were talking about AARP because he's
got that
25.
Too, but no, they looked at him. They're like, "Oh, yep, you need it."
Spaceman, right on point. Wow. Talking about Andre Williams reincarnated. Oh, I'm sorry, J. Mike. That's you. That's
wildin'. Yo, wildin'. Anywho, Kane, I know obviously we're running low on time. I want you to be able to get your food take. I mean, your food thing.
So obviously, like, my favorite thing in the world is eating fast food. What happens. I don't really care. But we got Arby's. And so I just want to know. So let me lay out the whole scenario, then I'll give you my question. But obviously, Arby's, terrific curly fries. We bring them home, and there's like a true curly fry, right? Like the perfect curls. And then my wife goes, "Can I have that?" And I want to know, so how long do you have to be together with your spouse before you're like, that's my curly fry?
From day one.
There you go. Talk about it, David.
The CD Lamb move.
Give me that phone back.
That's my curly fry.
So, Kane, this is going to be my take on it as a dude that's now going through the divorce process. Fuck her. That shit is yours. Don't ever give her anything. And
didn't you say hello to her earlier?
No, not her as a person. I love Wit. She's a really cool girl. I'm just saying, like, the concept of a wife. Never trust that bitch.
Like
Rats,
like
never
Rats
trust her. Never give her your French fries. And
no, but here's the thing that really pissed me off. So she got loaded curly fries. So they just put a bunch of cheese and bacon on that shit. Delicious. And then she goes, "Oh no, I don't need your curly fry anymore. I found a really curly one in here." And it's
so
like,
was she didn't even think about offering you any of her good curly fries, right?
She was seeing if she could get 2 curls.
Yeah.
Listen, mine and hers. That's not fair.
I'm gonna say this.
Now I'm really hungry for.
Like, I love her to death, and I'm like, does she actually deserve that curly fry? Because she puts up with everything I do. So.
Well,
if everything that stands in your relationship can fall by the wayside via a curly fry, I'm nervous for you. That's one. But number two,
well, it's more going to the wayside after how much I spent on that smoker. But
that's fair point. Fair point. Typically this is what it would be for me. You say, how long do you have to be married? And I'm thinking it's pretty early on, because my wife and we were just very straightforward with each other about a lot. And so when she asked, "Hey, I love that curly fry," and Gabe's met my wife, he knows her. She's super detail oriented, super kind, but she's also super cutthroat. So this is how that would have replayed if we was at my house. We're eating, I find the curly fry ball, curly fries. "Hey babe, check this out. Look, this curly fry." She's like, "Oh, let me have that curly fry." And I will stare at her deep into her eyes. And I will proceed to eat said curly fry in her face. Then y'all wouldn't see me no more, because she killed me and buried me in the backyard.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've just been together for like a month and a half, like, and so when my wife and I started dating, I had just turned 19. So like I was still young, dumb, and stupid. So like at that point where you're like, I know I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. Like, let's hope that she like holds on to this one curly fry I gave her, like, as the penance of my love. But you know what I mean? It's like at what point is it, like a year in? Because I feel like if you're just a couple weeks in, it's like you can have all my curly fries if you just keep dating me.
But that's the thing. If you give the curly fry now, then she's going to be snatching your phone like CD Lamb 3 months down the road. And it gets dangerous.
But for real though, if you're hiding things on your phone when your girl's right next to you, I think you need to create a folder.
Yeah.
You need to be putting those contacts in a guy's name.
Hey, don't give it away, man. Come on.
Well,
he's exposing all y'all.
I'm married up. I'm married up, so I wouldn't even try that.
The guy's names doesn't work because your wife / girlfriend knows all your friends' names, and she's like, "Who the fuck is Kevin?" Nah, but definitely, you definitely, if you have shit on your phone that and I've heard this story, not from personal experience. If you definitely don't want to leave that phone downstairs. You also don't want to leave laptops open. And things like that is what I've been told. Don't share.
With like why the hell do you have my phone? And she goes, because I'm going to do this. It's like, okay.
Yeah. But I'm going to say, in your specific case, you should give Whitney all your French fries.
No doubt.
Yeah. I got to be honest. At least she asked.
That's a fact.
Like,
because she knows that I don't eat a whole lot of fries, but I will eat the really curly ones.
But she still asked. Like, look. I grew up in a household with 3 women who would take shit off your plate. And be like, so for me, if she asked, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
I appreciate that.
Shane's
like,
met my wife. She's single-handedly like the nicest person that you're ever going to meet in your entire life.
Yeah, she's really sweet. I don't know why she married you.
Neither do I, and I try to make up for it every day. Yeah. But that's the question that goes back to do I need to give up this curly fry?
Yes, you specifically. The rest of the male population, I'm gonna say those are your fucking fries. You earn those fries, and you don't change those fries for anybody. Those fries, those are your fries, all right. And at the end of the day, you need to be true to your French fries. I'm sorry. There's some
Oh,
other
that's
shit
good.
going on here.
That's good.
Hey, I got one along the same lines. This is my biggest, and it's funny because she's sitting in the room with me. But
I know he's looking over
you
there.
can hit us
You're
when
not
she's
here
not
live
hungry,
with
but
us.
still
He's
eats all
looking
your
over his
French fries.
back.
you say, "I'm making this. Would you like me to make you some?" They say no. And as soon
Yeah,
as
you still got to make
the
double.
food, they want bites of it because
Yeah, you got to make double.
David knows what's up.
It's like when
David
you're
knows
just
what's up.
dating someone and you go out to eat because you're hungry, and then she says, "No, I'm not hungry." She hungry.
She hungry.
So my favorite
That
thing
means
of
you
tonight
gotta
so
order
far
2 sides.
is David looking over his shoulder like he's afraid he's about to get bitch
Yeah.
slapped.
I love how it's dark too, so you can't actually like see her sneak up on him.
Like, yeah, she's gonna come up on him like, bitch, I told you not to talk about our fucking business.
It's gonna be Scream all over again.
Yeah. Golly. And to close us out, golly, that's hilarious. David, blink twice if you need us to end real quick so you can still
We won't
live.
be able to see him, Mike.
Yeah, it's over. I'm gonna bring this all the way back toward the beginning because I can't quit Philadelphia for some reason, and I just have 2 questions.
Neither can Shane.
I'm two questions. One, and I need 1-word answers. Gabe, I'm gonna give it a shot. Everybody, I need 1-word answers.
Hear that, Shane?
Okay, 1-word answers from everyone on these 2 questions. So, first question, and we'll just go clockwise. We'll start with you, Zach, and work our way around. Is Miles Sanders an RB1 this coming season?
No.
Yes.
Shane?
Oh, yes.
David?
yes.
Gabe?
Yes.
How about you, J Mike?
No.
That's racist as shit.
I know, man. Can't stand black people. Uncle Ruckus out here from Boondocks. Can't stand your black ass. No, I'm just kidding. Question number 2.
I want to hear the no's though. I don't want 1-word answers. I want to know why. Why no?
No, because I think he's going to be close. It's not like
he's on the
far away.
cusp, but I don't think
Yeah,
he's.
I think he's like 13, 14, 15, but
Yeah.
I don't think that he's like 1. I mean, like definitively like 8, 7, 8, 9, nothing like that.
We're talking 12-team league on this. I was assuming, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Yep.
So,
Yeah, he's really good. It's just a number of touches. I'm curious. Like if he's super efficient, like Kamara efficient, then it won't matter. And he's getting like a bunch of targets, and he's fantastic, and life is good. But if he's only going to get 165, 170 carries, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I'm curious. Next question. Moving forward in Dynasty. So for this season and beyond, would you rather have, again, 1-word answers, Ertz or Goddard?
Ertz, though.
I didn't hear the question.
From henceforth. So from just for the production of this season and for the value of moving forward, however you want to frame it, would you rather have Ertz or Goddard?
I'll take Zachary.
I appreciate that.
Aw.
That's actually not Zachary.
Not him, though.
Name, by the way. It's not Zachary.
It is to me.
What do you think, Shane?
I have no idea if that's his full name. Ertz. I'm gonna take the Hall of Fame tight end over the dude that has flashed a bit.
Can we go back to how Shane thinks he's a Hall of Fame tight end?
No, wait. Let everybody answer first. David?
Ertz.
Man bun.
Ertz.
I love how
That's a
all of you
basic
chose
bitch
Ertz,
We got a lot of Goddard in
and
the chat.
everybody said Goddard in the chat.
I mean, that's why they're in the chat and they ain't on the show.
That's exactly why it doesn't exist right there.
Boom!
Right
No,
there.
You all exist. Chat, I appreciate y'all. Y'all matter. Yeah, can we go back to Ertz real quick? That'll be the last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll get out of here. Ertz, Hall of Fame.
Look,
let's go back
I
to
never said that they didn't matter, J Mike. If they existed.
You said they didn't exist. That's even worse.
If they existed.
Yeah, I just trashed it. You said
Have you ever seen Horton Hears a Who? That's the worst. You said they don't exist. They're screaming from the freaking plant flower. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I've also seen the end of Horton Hears a Who.
And
Don't-
it was
don't-
a
It
stack of
gets
dust.
dicey.
Hey,
It gets dicey.
I know. Just wait till the finale of the open bar.
What'd you say, Kane?
That was the speck of dust. Is what
Excuse me,
the
you're
Who's
right.
are on.
I'm sorry.
Right.
That
I disrespect them with the flower talk.
I know what's up.
I'm sorry. Whatever.
Zach Ertz Hall of Fame. That's your guy? That's your man's?
Go look at his stats through the first however many fucking years he's been playing.
Like I'm literally not being rude. I'm just very curious.
Look at his stats. He's in top 5 for receptions, yards, touchdowns, 100-yard receiving games, all this shit for tight ends through their first however many years he's played. He's up there.
A lot of work to me.
Okay, I'm just telling you, he's up there with guys like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Robert Gronkowski, dudes like that. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
you named some good players.
He's not going to get the respect that like a Gronk will, because Gronk was a unique like
game changer
type of thing. Yeah, and he doesn't seem like that when you watch him, because as soon as he catches the ball, he falls down. But I mean, the numbers are there.
If he were to make it, I'd view him on more of and I love Jason Witten, but he's definitely more that type of player than a Travis Kelce type of,
right,
that type of player. So that's probably what would be the only thing kind of holding him back is, kind of maybe they'd call him the tight end version of a compiler type of thing. Just got fed massive amounts of targets because lack of competition, but I think he's got, if he continues for a few more years, he's got a chance.
Is he
Ertz is only 29?
Is he going to have to be like what do you call it? Like a Frank Gore type that just plays forever? Or is he just going to be able to
don't do that.
But my question is, for him to get in the Hall of Fame, like, is he going to be able to retire at like 32, 33 and still get in? Or is he going to have to be like a Frank Gore that like continues to play until he's 97 and he's hitting people with his walker?
All right, just assume 3 more years similar to what he's done in his career right now. Okay. He's a top 5 tight end in every statistical category. And now the NFL Hall of Fame is a little wonky because they don't seem to understand. They don't really look at stats from what I can tell. Because Namath is in there, and then guys like Eric Allen aren't, but whatever. It's a longer story.
50-year difference in time, though.
But even still, there's guys that were legitimate Hall of Famers that they just ignore year after year. Like what fucking Terrell Owens, they didn't vote him in first ballot because he was a douchebag. Whatever. But if he plays a few more years at this level.
Also, I think that shouldn't be anonymous. I want to know the people that didn't vote. Like I want to know who was like the one dissenting vote for some people. Like that's what I'm curious about, and I want to go after them on Twitter.
It's sports. I mean, I know it's sports writers, so we could just attack random sports writers.
But like,
just any of them. Just
go after. But I want to know the exact one. Like I want to get them.
Or I don't want to be sexist. Just what you should do tonight is just go look up beat reporters and just start hurling insults at them on Twitter.
I won't do that.
I won't do that. Is Travis Kelce a Hall of Famer?
Oh yeah,
he's got to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
well.
So yeah, what's your criterion for Hall of Fame then? Do you look at the guys who dominated an era? Because this era has been Gronk and Kelce and Ertz.
Yeah,
I would say.
And next decade will be AJ Dillon. Like, I'm with you.
Would you guys look at it more like a Hall of Fame criteria if they were the best at that position for a 3-4 year span, or were the 4th or 5th best at that position for a 6-7 year span?
I think it has to be the latter.
Both matter. I think they both matter.
Yeah, I'm with J Mike. I'm one of those guys. Like if you look at it, it's a baseball reference, but you look at Sandy Koufax, what he did over 5.
Who's that?
Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest pitchers of all time.
He did it for like 6 years.
Yeah,
the span that. Yeah,
right.
But like a Gale Sayers type of thing, he had an amazing, couple of years, but then,
right. Like Terrell Davis.
Kyle, stop it. JaMychal Hasty will not get into the Hall of Fame. Stop it.
There are many tight ends in the Hall of Fame.
Nah, they don't. Position.
What do you got, Mackey?
Just like us with the tight end position in fantasy football.
Can you read those names off for me?
Yeah,
you got them.
Dave Casper.
Oh, good old Casper.
Mike Ditka. Tony Gonzalez, John Mackey, like y'all said, Ozzie Newsome, Charlie Sanders, Shannon Sharp, Jackie Smith, Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Jeez,
9 of them.
Christ.
I get a couple 3 probably.
So that's going to be hard for. I mean, it's going to be hard for even Gronk to get into the Hall of Fame.
I think that's also just. I mean,
The position has changed quite a bit too.
It used to be an
It has.
extra
Much
offensive
better.
lineman. I mean, Ditka was an anomaly with all the receiving work he did. I mean, everybody you just named on that list that I know the name of, like Kellen Winslow, not to be confused with his rapist son. But
Right.
everybody else on that list, that the names I knew were different. They were like receiving tight ends, at least considered receiving tight ends for their era. Now, like a guy like Gronk, he just redefined the position. So he's got a ton of catches. But Tony Gonzalez, he wasn't known for blocking from what I remember. He was mostly a receiver, right?
I don't think I ever heard about, them talking about him not being a good blocker, though, like they do with Jimmy Graham. Like that was just known that Jimmy Graham couldn't block. But I don't remember ever really hearing that as a criticism of Tony Gonzalez.
Jimmy Graham would be an interesting case study because if you looked at what he did, and I mean, you just look at the raw numbers at the end of his career, he's probably going to be up there in a lot of the categories. But really, he was only dominant for 2 years with the Saints.
Do you think you petition to go in as a receiver?
Yes.
There you go.
And he made it with the 70s receivers that made it in.
Yeah.
For real. If you look at Tony Gonzalez's numbers, I just pulled those up on Pro Football
Gotta get
Reference.
Gates in there.
That dude was just catching everything every year. Like, I think out of his 12 years in his career, I'm showing three instances where he had less than 70 catches, but he's hovering at like 800, 900, over 1,000 yards all the time. Like, he was crazy. Gonzalez was crazy.
He's the original Never Julio.
I mean, dang.
So I know this isn't tight end related, but I just stumbled on this stat, and I think it's pretty incredible. Larry Fitzgerald has more tackles than he does drops.
Talk about it.
Like that's wild
That's
to me.
Speaking of drops, I just saw him dropped in a dynasty league of mine.
That's more
Unbelievable.
That's more than he's dropped in games. That
Seriously,
one
how many
time.
drops does he have in his career? 2?
He has 29 drops and 32 tackles.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
29 drops in 16 years.
It's freaking amazing is what he is.
And one season he had like 5, and he felt so ashamed of himself.
So he got more tackles.
This will not stand.
I think you have to get a good amount of tackles when Drew Stanton's your quarterback.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That's where he got all 32 of those, is those years.
TJ Yates is leading you to a playoff game.
Yeah, Lindley. Was it Ryan Lindley? Was that his name?
Yeah,
he had
that
as
was one.
Sheesh.
Form
Those are
tackle,
sad
too.
days.
Of course, because Larry Fitzgerald does everything by the book.
Big facts.
True.
Man, thank you guys. Tonight was so good. So good.
J. Mike, are you trying to get us out of here?
Well, I just know that specifically with this group, we can linger and we can just talk and talk and talk. And I'm just not built for that tonight.
I agree. You know what? Let's do intros and outros at the same time. We never really got a chance to do that. So if you want to provide yourself with an intro and then just kind of either pass it off to the next person, so then we can go to their intro, and then we'll come back around, do outros, and then we'll leave. Yeah, just making a point that the open bar is just we're so free. We're so free and willing to do any and everything in this world. I'm sorry, I was just distracted here. Okay, outros. Here we go. Zach, the Mackett assassin. I don't know if you understood that joke earlier.
I haven't seen
so
Always Sunny.
All right. Look, I didn't want to look, you said that, not me. You may have just opened something.
I mean, maybe
that people could get upset about, but
I'm also there. Never
yeah.
seen it.
Oh, okay, perfect. I think
my cousin is friends
normal.
with Jimmy
Oh,
Simpson.
three.
Does that count?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm in. I'm back.
All right. You're back at Assassin. Okay.
Back at it.
All right. Zach, so good to have you on the show, my man. Quick shout out to Zach and Kane. for coming on late notice. Many thanks to you two.
Give me Bond.
Especially.
Give me Bond.
Shane, David, y'all are loyal, so you're of course appreciated, but you will not be ignored. But to come in the clutch like that, we appreciate you for that. So Zach, this is your chance. Say what you need to say to the people, the fans, the lovers and haters of the open bar.
I appreciate you guys asking me to come on. I got that running two seam out of the pen, throw some ground balls, we'll get a save and get out of here. You guys know me. I'm a dummy. Really, what I should shout out is Kyle. Always Kyle. Kyle is my co-host over at the Dynasty Dummies at Caleb Breck, and he is the better half of the dummies. And anything I say that is even a modicum of intelligent is because of him. So I'll defer over to Kane from there.
Perfect.
So I don't really care about sponsoring my stuff. The thing I really care about right now is that people just in general might be going through a tough time right now. And I think it's more important now that, like, I put this even out on Twitter, that, like, go into someone's DMs, like, send them a text, give them a call, and, like, just check on them. And just say some words of encouragement, because even the people that you think might not need it might be the people that need it the most. So just look out for the people that are around you. Like, this isn't an easy time for anyone. So just keep other people in your mind and in your thoughts, and just put people first. That's all I got.
People first. Unless it's AJ Dillon, then put that person first. But I agree with you. Weird times indeed. Shane, you just started talking about LA a little bit, and that I didn't hear it exactly verbatim, but something about until August. And it just kind of worries me more and more that we are not going to be out of it for a while. And why we're all here right now is because of football. And we might be talking about this stuff repetitively at some point, or maybe we'll get a supplemental draft in August to talk about different things. But wholeheartedly agree with you, Kane. Say something nice to someone. Shane, this is your opportunity. How are you going to transition this, man? How are you going to do this?
So I won't be a raising asshole from my usual. Just I'll piggyback off what Kane said, and Zach. So shout out to Michael Sipes, Jeremy Browen, my co-hosts on Trades HQ. Those are my dudes. But like Kane said, man, just you never know when someone could need you to reach out to them. I mean, there's people like me that are like, they kind of wear their emotions on their sleeves. So you could just, you'll see a tweet and be like, oh, this dude might be driving off a cliff, so let me reach out to him. But, there's other people, like, it might be not as overt, but yeah, just reach out to people, man. Because that really does help when someone jumps in your inbox, and make sure that you're not going to turn the car on in the garage. But love you all.
Big facts. David, the first timer to the open bar, my guy. Good to have you on. What do you have to say to the people?
Thank you guys for having me. It's really awesome to get the invite. I apologize to everybody because my camera is extremely blurry, as I really now see it. It was a small screen before, but now it's huge. Just to echo kind of everything you guys said, even just shouting out to somebody just to say thinking about you, let me know if you need to chat or something like that right now can be more helpful than you realize, because you just even having to be home alone kind of kept the winter depression going on for a lot of people. So just echoing what you guys said, check up on people from time to time that you care about, and even people that you don't know. The community is pretty great about that in general. There are the outliers, but as a whole, everybody's pretty good. So just stay safe, stay healthy, and this is for Bobby. Peeps are amazing, and that will be my last thing.
Ooh.
It's true. That was
Sneaky
fast.
David. Sneaky David.
Wow. Wow. Impressive. That's a bar. Just to end your outro like that, very impressive. J Mike, good luck with that, man. Good luck with that.
Listen, when you can sneak this Bobby Koch, Robert Elizabeth Pony Koch, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So, what's up, Bobby? I hope you hear this, man. You are fantastic and loved. Listen, I want to pile on that love train that we've got going on because, life is precious, man. So encourage someone, reach out to folks, make sure that you're doing everything that you can, obviously, to hold it down at home and also hold it down for the people that you do life with. So to my friends, to my family, to my big brother, Zach, to Kane, Shane, to David, and to my main man himself, Bun G. I love you guys. I'm appreciative that we can do this, that we can chop it up, that we can have a fun time laughing about nonsense, that we can agree to disagree on A.J. Dillon, on how we handle these curly fries, on how we handle Jalen Reagor moving forward. I just love the fact that we can come on here and chop it up and do this well. So much appreciative to you all, to the folks that were going to be on tonight but had all sorts of random life stuff come up, man. We appreciate y'all too. And everybody in the chat, y'all kept it so lit in here tonight. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all very much. Usually I get to shouting out names and whatnot, but with that, we're at the end and feels kind of hollow at this point for me to try to shout it out at the end. But you guys are fantastic and you exist, and you even made Gabe show that you exist today, which was even better. So thank you for that.
I did not.
You did. My fellow grab bag alums in the building, DG. What's up, DG? Hope you're well, man. Pops is here. Berg, Commissioner McGriff, Tyler Gunther was here. The chef himself, James, was in the building as well. Casey McCoy, we had all sorts of folks. Kyle Senner was in here. I'm sure I'm missing names, but we appreciate all of you all. Obviously, you can find us wherever podcasts are. Find the video on YouTube, and obviously, you could spend almost 2 hours with anyone in the world doing anything, but you chose to spend it with us, and we appreciate you. I'm on Twitter at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. You can find the show's handle at the Open Bar Pod on Twitter. And my main man, the host with the most, Bun G, Genius the MC, Mr. Gearing, if you nasty. That's Rook Daddy. Don't trip. Don't get him set off because he wild. On Twitter at FFManBun. FF Canariello. Gabe, take us home.
Oh, Canary. I need to figure this thing out, man. It's coming down too. Once the baby, I mean, probably can't have that anymore. The toys are gone, but bringing in different toys. Yeah. You could listen to this show for 2 hours, or you could listen to a dummies show, 2 dummy shows. Probably. Sometimes they run a little bit over, some intros from the Sun, Tacit Assassin, You think I do intros? My man's does like parodies every single week. I can't keep up with that. Like, come on, man. Look, we got people out here grinding. Go and listen to all their stuff too. That's all I've got to say. We got time. Go and do it. J Mike shows. You could listen to 8 J Mike shows in 2 hours. Come on.
15.
Yeah. You work on that, Shane. You work on that, Shane. You got it. Yeah. All right. That's all I've got. I don't know. There's a store for the Open Bar. theopenbar.storeenvy.com. We should have made the bung shirt. I guess we could still do that. Anybody got any pictures of pig rectum we could use? If you do,
I've been trying to quit.
If you do, go ahead and email theopenbarpod@gmail.com.
Please don't copy any.
No CC.
Yeah.
Smart. You want to be BCC'd, so there's no proof.
Never mind. I'm about to say some real inappropriate shit.
Kane said, "I'm trying to quit."
I'm glad you got that, Jim. I could just try to slide that bad boy right in.
We brought the bar from serial killer to pig rectum all in 2 hours. It's beautiful.
Yeah, baby.
Because that's what this is.
All right. I don't even know what else to say, man. So we'll be here next week though, that's for sure. Unless there's a baby born on a Tuesday, then I probably won't be here. But J Mike can be here. Look, guys, I wanted it to be tonight. I'm gonna be honest and be open. I wanted it at the open bar. I wanted it tonight. 5512. That is the Austin area code. It's where I currently reside. I mean, how fire would it be for a child to be born in your current area code? There's it's not like I'm sure, I have an allegiance to this city and all and all that, but guys, I'm sad, but I'm all right. I'll get past it. So J Mike, what were you about to say?
I was gonna say quick programming note.
Yeah.
Still not sure. Obviously, we're on baby watch with Gabe's first here, and we've got shows technically scheduled through May, but I don't have anything scheduled for June yet. So, if for whatever reason, obviously, if my man has to hold it down at home, do the dad duties and everything else as he gets adjusted, I've got I've got obviously 5 slots here that I can fill up on a week-to-week basis. Give me Reed. Give me Reed. So to everybody listening, if you want to either jump on and guest or help a brother co-host one week, whatever you want to do, I'm here for it. So a couple more weeks, and hopefully we'll still see Blungy with us. But just keep that in mind as we move forward, people.
Facts. Cheers to everyone. Whether you got something or not, it can be a fist bump. It can be in water. This is the safest way to fist bump. Trust me.
We have no idea if David is raising a glass because we have no idea.
No idea.
What is going on?
No idea what he's holding. We don't want to know,
He's actually
David. We don't
looking
want
at
to know
us.
what's in your hand.
He's
got a
looking
fuzzy
at us
navel.
through the glass. Yes, he's looking at us through the glass right now.
Oh, holy shit.
The whole time.
Talk about philosophy and psychology and all that stuff, Shane.
J Mike just gave me a mind fuck to end the evening.
All right. All right, J Mike, we did it. Past 2 hours. That's always my goal.
I knew you were trying.
You
I knew it. I knew what you were
Just
doing.
Bullshit. Get it there to that $1.20 on the minute scale. That's it for us on the open bar. Until next week, we love you all, even the chat. Deuces.